Japan is different. In the land of the rising sun, there are many manners, customs and general way of doing things that aren't considered normal in the West. After living here for 1.5 years, I have come across more than a couple of these abnormal normalities. But how absurd can it get? Well, let's take a look, as today we take a deep dive into my top 10 abnormal normalities. Today it's my goal to tell you where these differences come from and why they are considered normal. Hello and ikimashou. Starting with number 1, drinking in public. Where in many parts of the world it's illegal, in Japan it is not. Japanese laws on drinking are fairly relaxed, and after reaching the age of 20 you are allowed to drink anywhere. Think of parks, stations, and although it is frowned upon, even in the train. But between you and me, just don't do it. Japanese drinking culture is very different from Western drinking culture, and it's absolutely fascinating. Did you know that it is completely normal to drink on weekdays? Where in the Netherlands, people usually drink away their sorrows in the weekend. The salarymen often storm into a izakaya together after a weekday, where a sip of the first beer make all the social norms go through the window and everybody starts to complain about their boss or work. But if the boss is actually at the table, it is often rude to say no to a drink. So don't be surprised when you see a completely drunk middle-aged man cross you by on the streets. Talking about crossing the streets, let's take a look at this weird fact about Japanese traffic lights. Number 2. The traffic light is what? Imagine this, you are on a day out with your Japanese friend. The traffic light is red and turns green and you say to him, "Midori desu." Instead of following you, he looks really confused. Why is that? The answer to this question takes us down a rabbit hole of language, culture and history. Originally, the Japanese color wheel, which was brought over from China, consisted of 5 colors. Ao, blue, kiro, yellow, aka, red, kuro, black, and shiro, white. And it's the ao, blue, that creates this confusion. In China, blue's kanji aoi meant sky color. However, when this color wheel was introduced to Japan, green was already a primary color here. Because of this, the kanji aoi took on both the meaning for blue, sky color, and green, midori, and actually also gray. So if that was then, why do the Japanese still call it blue now? In 1930, the first traffic light was installed in Tokyo. The word midori actually already existed, but it wasn't part of the old, well-known color wheel. Red, yellow and blue, of course, were. And since it had a nice ring to it, Ao Shingo, the newspaper described the traffic light using this term. And that stuck. Even today, the people call the traffic light turning blue. Something where Japan is also stuck in the past. Let's take a look at number 3. Number 3, the land of no credit cards. Japan, the land of the rising sun, right? No, more like the land of no credit card. Although this is changing, Japan is still a very cash-based society, with over more than 60% of all transactions being more than cash-based. There are popular alternatives though, like Suica and PayPay. With digitalization not stopping anytime soon, who knows what Japan will look like in the future. During my time in Japan, I've actually come across one place where they didn't accept cash. This was The Lost Bar by Chris Broad, where Ako and I got to celebrate 500 subscribers. Thank you guys so much. To celebrate, we want to do a live stream on the 20th of September at 10 PM EST. It's gonna be a Q&A, we're just gonna chill, hang out, you can ask your questions about Japan, and we're just gonna have an amazing time together. Let's have a blast! Something I wish would be blasted out of existence is number 4. I remember it like yesterday. It was a normal Saturday morning. I was relaxing, watching YouTube on my bed, when all of a sudden I feel like something is staring at me. Yeah, socks with feet. Definitely not nearly everybody wears them, but it's also not a rare sight to see these abominations every now and then. However weird and ugly I find these socks, they do have an interesting history. Where tabi socks or split socks were originally made for traditional Japanese footwear, they later turned into, well, this. Number 5. Sitting on the floor. Well, traditionally, Japanese furniture is lower, so naturally people sit on the floor. That's that. Number 6. Paying for attention. I just talked a little bit about Japanese drinking culture, and one of these parts of Japanese drinking culture definitely deserved its own point, that being a phenomenon called snack bars. This is not like your Dutch snack bar where you can get a patatje oorlog. No, a Japanese snack bar or snakke is often a very intimate and small place, with one bartender or host and a couple of waitresses. And although the name might suggest it's focused on food, that couldn't be further from the truth. As you take a seat, one of the waitresses will come up to you and ask you what you want to drink, and starts pouring it for you, draining you with all the attention that you need. And then it doesn't take long before she asks you if she may join you for a drink. And with all the flirting and talking that is going on, of course you say yes. And if you don't know about the concept of a Japanese snack bar, you'll be in a shock at the end of the night, as you would have also paid for the drinks of the waitress, often at a higher price range. As many Japanese people struggle with loneliness, this is one of the ways to cope with that problem, although it being a very expensive one. Another time where you'll pay double the price is number 7. Will you be my Valentine? Just like anywhere else in the world, Valentine's Day gets celebrated in Japan. The way they do it is a bit different though. On Valentine's Day, February 14th, women give out their honmei chocolate or romantic chocolate to their crush, boyfriend, partner, or husband. Sometimes a lot of work is put into these chocolates to show their affection. And the women also gave out mandatory chocolates and chocolates for friends. Now 1 month later, after receiving the chocolates, the men have to give the chocolates back. But it is expected to pay at least double or 3 times the price that the women have put into these chocolates. So make sure you wrap it open nicely and don't directly put it in the trash. Talking about trash, let's go on to number 8. Trash man. Everyone knows Japan is clean, but did you know that many people take their trash back home? Due to a terrorist attack in Tokyo in 1995, the public and law enforcement decided it was better to ban public trash cans. And because of the lack of trash cans after this horrific incident, many Japanese take their trash back home. And that's the reason why, even though there are no trash cans to be seen, the streets are still superbly clean. One of the testimonies to how clean Japanese people are. Another one of those testimonies is number 9. Flip-flops. Many toilets in Japan will have flip-flops. Do not dare to take these out of the toilet as you have done something so unhygienic that it's unspoken of. And then on to our last point, number 10. The last piece. Whether you go out to eat with friends or you share meals and snacks at home, it is very common that on the plate there is left one thing, for example 1 gyoza or 1 peanut or whatever. And the reason why this is, it's because it's rude to take the last piece without asking everyone. So if you want that last piece, you have to ask everybody around the table, and when they have accepted your plea, you can eat that final and last piece. Thank you guys so much. I really hope you enjoyed the video. We really recommend you to check out our last video where we spend a day in Tokyo without spending any money, completely free. So please go check that out, and if you haven't already, subscribe and like this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Danny Japan, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.